teacher presenter for today's episode of Part1 in Mathematics. Our lesson for today is adding and subtracting fractions and mixed fractions without and with regrouping. But before that, let's have a short review on how to find the least common multiple using continuous division. We have 5 steps in finding the least common multiple using continuous division. Do you remember these steps? Step 1. Arrange the numbers horizontally. Step 2. Think of a prime number that can divide both numbers. Step 3. Write the quotient below the dividends. Step 4. Continue the process until none of the numbers have a common divisor. Step 5. Multiply the common prime divisors and the last set of quotients. Using these steps, let's find the least common multiple of 24 and 20. Step 1. Arrange the numbers horizontally. 24, 20. Step 2. Think of a prime number that can divide both numbers. 2 is a prime number that can divide both 24 and 20. Step 3. Write the quotient below the dividends. 24 divided by 2 is 12. 20 divided by 2 is 10. Step 4. Continue the process until none of the numbers have a common divisor. 2 is a prime number that can divide 12 and 10. 12 divided by 2 is 6. 10 divided by 2 is 5. 6 and 5 are relatively prime, so that's the end of the continuous division. And step 5, multiply the common prime divisors and the last set of quotients. So we have LCM is equal to 2 times 2 times 5 times 6 equals 120. The LCM of 24 and 20 is 120. It is important for you to know how to find the LCM of numbers because we are going to use that in our new lesson, which is adding and subtracting fractions. Let's start. Mrs. Cruz wants to give Dr. Cruz, her daughter, a personal protective equipment or PPE. She bought everything except for the gown. She wants to sew it herself. She bought 5 1/2 meters of white cloth and 2/5 meters of blue cloth. How many meters of cloth did she buy in all? First, let's understand the problem. What is asked in the problem? The number of meters of cloth Mrs. Cruz bought. What are the given? 5 1/2 meters and 2/5 meters. Next, let's plan. What is the operation to be used? That's correct. The operation to be used is addition. What is the number sentence? 5 1/2 plus 2/5 is equal to n. Now, let's solve. There are 3 steps to add these fractions. Step 1. Align the fractions and compare the denominators. We have 5 1/2 plus 2/5. The fractions have different denominators, which means they are dissimilar fractions. Step 2. Find the least common denominator or LCD. The least common denominator is the least common multiple of the denominators. Rename the given as similar fractions. The denominators are 2 and 5. There's no common prime divisor for these 2 numbers, so we have to multiply them. 2 times 5 equals 10. 10 is the LCD. 10 divided by 2 is 5. 5 times the numerator 1, that is equal to 5. 10 divided by 5 is 2. 2 times the numerator 2, that is equal to 4. Now, they are similar fractions. 5 1/2 is equal to 5 5/10. 2/5 is equal to 4/10. Step 3. Add the whole numbers and the fractions. There's only one whole number, so we just bring it down. Add the numerators. 5 plus 4 equals 9. Copy the common denominator. Step 4. Simplify whenever possible. 5 9/10 in its simplest form. Answer Mrs. Cruz bought 5 and 9/10 meters of cloth. Let's have more examples. Help me find the sum of these fractions. 2 and 3/5 plus 1 and 1/5. Step 1. Align the fractions and compare the denominators. We have 2 and 3/5 plus 1 and 1/5. Step 2. If the fractions are dissimilar fractions, find the least common denominator or LCD. Rename the given as similar fractions. They are similar fractions, so we proceed to step 3. Step 3. Add the whole numbers and then the numerator and copy the common denominator. 2 plus 1 equals 3. 3 plus 1 equals 4. Copy the denominator 5. Step 4. Simplify whenever possible. 3 and 4/5 is already in its simplest form. Before we continue with our lesson, let's pause for a few reminders from our